What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flagrant Talk Sports Podcast. It's Moses here, alongside his favorite co-host, Isaiah Gessner.
What's good, everybody?
And today, the big shebang is here. NBA playoffs starting today. The time of this recording, couple games already done, couple games in action.
Yeah.
We're ready to dive in, give y'all the layout, the blueprint, our predictions. Man, I'm excited, bro. It's been a long time coming.
It
Started
has.
back with our preseason predictions. At some point, might have to go back and look at those in a later vid. But today, it's time for the meat and potatoes, man. How are we feeling?
Feeling incredible. This playoffs, I can comfortably say there is not a single bad playoff series in any round.
Yeah.
Like, we are in for some incredible hoops. Mo and I, we both did our playing predictions. I got the seeding wrong. Some of the matchups are wrong, but went 4 for 4 on teams. So feel pretty good about that. Hoping to carry that momentum over into the predictions now.
Yep.
We'll try our best. Okay.
For sure.
We'll try our best. Before we get into it, big thank you to everyone. All the love you've shown the past couple months. This channel continues to grow. Mo and I are very thankful that, people care enough to tune in. That means a lot. Mo and I love talking sports, and we love creating a community of people who also love it. So before we get into it, just a big thank you.
Thank you as always. Means the world.
Means the world. Just the beginning. And with that being said, let's make our NBA playoff picks. The way we're going to do this, round by round, we'll start in the West, trickle our way down to the East. If I'm looking down while we're recording, I have a ton of notes. I have 3 pages worth. So stay with me. If I'm looking down. But yeah, Mo and I will both give our picks. We'll update the bracket as we're going. And then at the very end, Mo will show his whole bracket. I will show my whole bracket. And that's what we got.
Yep.
Let's get into it, Mo. Kicking us off, the 8-seeded play-in Pelicans without Zion, sadly. Still took care of Sacramento, though. Had no problem. Had other guys step up, taking on the 1-seeded Thunder, the youngest 1 seed in the history of the NBA. Who is your pick, and in how many games?
As you said, the Thunder, youngest 1 seed in history of the NBA, looking to make it out of the first round for the first time since a couple of their young guys, at the time they weren't young, but in 2016, Russ and KD lost to the Warriors in the conference finals in 7. And that summer, the rest was history. Changed the course of the NBA forever. But first playoff series for the Thunder since the 2019-2020 season. New team, new energy, youth, and they're clicking. They beat the Pelicans in the season series 2-1. Most recent game coming on March 26th, so definitely valid results there. They're gonna have the best player on the court in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Obviously the youth of the Thunder worries me a little bit, but they got a favorable matchup with the Pelicans, as they have some experience over there, but not a lot of playoff success over there.
Yeah.
So favorable matchup there. As for the Pelicans, like you said, no Zion, sucks. Awful. But role guys, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Larry Nance Jr., Najee Marshall, everyone stepping up in the play-in games, helping them clutch up the 8 seed. Even with Zion healthy, I was leaning toward the Thunder in this series. And with them out, it is confirmed the Pelicans' fate, I believe. I have the Oklahoma City Thunder in 6 games.
I love it. Similarly for me, the loss of Zion is just so big. Like,
huge.
It breaks my heart too, because his play-in performance against the Lakers just dominant. This is the Zion out of Duke. We all collectively as a basketball community were like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this guy is going to be a problem. We finally got to see it on a big stage at home against LeBron and the Lakers. And he got hurt, and you could just see on his face again, again, he just can't stay healthy. So I'm wishing him the best, a speedy
Yep.
recovery. There's no chance of him coming back in the first round, which is important to note.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Again, the Thunder are legit. They're a real team. We've given them a lot of props all season. The only real path for the Pelicans is, can the youth disrupt the Thunder? And
Mm-hmm.
can they get key big performances from a Trey Murphy, from a Herb Jones? Can Brandon Ingram step up? CJ McCollum closed out the regular season dominantly,
Yeah.
was playing incredible basketball. Can they can they do enough?
Mm-hmm.
I personally, though, am siding with you. I would have picked the Thunder over the Pelicans with Zion. Without him, I definitely feel like I have to. I've got the Thunder in 5 games
Okay.
to win it. I think there is a chance New Orleans comes out swinging. Maybe they win game 1, and you're like, oh,
Oh shit.
maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, like this could be real. But I don't know. I feel like the Thunder kind of handle business here.
I agree. Yep.
Perfect. And now we go, dude. This two teams that are very familiar with each other in the
Yep.
postseason.
Yep.
The Clippers and Mavericks. This was a 2-1 series victory for the Clippers this season in their 3 games played. Question marks surrounding Kawhi Leonard and his health. He was healthy, he was great this year, and that issue peaks again, similarly to how it has done in previous years,
Yep.
literally last year going into the playoffs.
Yep.
Hopefully, the swelling in his knee is reduced. He's able to get back and play at the Kawhi level that we know and love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hell of a series.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Clippers a couple months ago was maybe the best team in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Had legit conversations, but now you're seeing it with Dallas where it's like, hold up, we
Pump the
might
brakes.
hold the brakes. We might have a guy who is trying to cement himself as the best player in basketball with something to prove, especially in the event he doesn't win MVP, which he likely won't in
Yeah.
Luka.
Yeah.
Kyrie is clicking. That duo is in full swing. But that Clippers team, they've got the experience, and this is a big postseason for them
Yeah.
to get through. All that to say, Mo, who have you got in this incredible series?
Just adding on to the season series note, Clippers won 2-1, but
Yeah,
all those games came before the end of December. So I'm taking those wins with a grain of salt. Different
yeah,
teams now.
very.
Like you said, no, the Kawhi injury, it's worrying. We found out today that he's apparently trending in the wrong direction,
Yeah,
which is not a good sign. As for the Clippers, on paper, they have more talent. They
yeah,
have the experience. They have those guys. But last year, first round exit in 5 versus the Suns. And as for Dallas, losing to the Clippers back-to-back years in 2020 and 2021 in the first round, and
yeah.
Luka played really well in those series as well. I
Dominant.
won them the games that the
Mm-hmm.
Mavericks won in those series, but we're gonna need Tim Hardaway Jr. to step up. We're gonna
Yes.
need PJ Washington to keep hooping. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
need Gafford to keep filling that big man role, especially if
Mm-hmm.
Derek Lively isn't healthy to start this series, which I'm hoping he is. That'll be a
Yeah.
key add for the Mavericks. The series for me, it's going 7,
Agreed.
and I have the Dallas Mavericks beating the Los Angeles Clippers, which It's crazy. I love the Clippers. I love the
It
pieces. I
is.
love the guys, but injuries and it's the same bug, man. It
It
keeps
is.
keeps rearing its head, and I don't know if losing Kawhi at the start is, and they're gonna drop a game or two for
Yeah,
sure on at home, which sucks.
I agree.
I gotta give it to the Mavericks.
I think what's so tough, something I want to throw out there too, that would be interesting. If the Clippers were to win, you would have Shea going against his former team, PG going against his former team via the trade. Would be
Yep.
an awesome matchup.
Hmm.
I, honestly, both of these teams have finals potential in the Mavs and
That's
Clippers.
that's
And that's what hurts is like one of these teams is going home in round one, and they are not by their talent level, by the stars that they have, by the way they've played at different points in the season. There was good reason to like feel strongly about both of these teams. I'll be joining you though in 7 games. I've got the Mavericks beating the Clippers. Just I don't know, man. Something is telling me that this is going to be a Luka series where he might
yeah,
average 40 in the
yeah.
series. Like
Hmm.
he is playing at that level right now. But who are the X factors? I think is the big one. Can Tim
100%.
Hardaway have, a 25-point game that wills them over in a close game?
Hmm.
For the Clippers, who is going to step up? Can Norman Powell have a good game? Like that's the X factor. We know what the stars can do.
Yep.
Um, but I feel like with Kawhi's health being a question mark, and with the way the Mavs are playing, I feel a little bit better in a 7-game series with the Mavs.
For sure, man. It's tough, as you said, but I have the Luca feeling. I have the Luca
Yeah,
fever.
yeah.
Yeah.
And these two teams have known they were going to play each other for like a week and a half now.
Yep. Yep.
Like they've known Ty Lue was very open the past couple regular season games of like he was asked, when do you start scouting them now that you know you're the 5 seed and you're playing them? And he's like, now.
Yeah.
Like I right now. The
Mhm.
regular season games matter, but there's no gain.
Yeah.
So I'm ready. I'm scouting that team.
Hmm.
Um, and deciding on a series does not get any easier down here. You've got the 3-seeded Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards ascending into superstardom
Yep.
against the old guard, Kevin Durant, Devin
Hmm.
Booker, Bradley Beal
Hmm.
starting to get it going,
Yep.
and this Phoenix Suns team, Grayson Allen having a career year. Dude, this again, I feel like we're going to be saying 7-game series for a lot of these.
Spoiler alert. This is one of them.
This is one of them. I feel
Yep.
like this, honestly, out of the first round matchups, was the hardest one for me to pick.
Yeah.
Like, you flip a coin.
I have my pick on paper, but now I'm second guessing myself
I,
as we just talked, and as I'm about to present.
it's ridiculous. Season series 3-0 Suns.
Dang.
An important one to note.
Yeah.
Uh, the key factor in this game or in this series is the Timberwolves defense for me.
Hmm.
It has been tried and true all year. They'll sometimes go in a scoring drought, especially closing out games. They struggle from time to time, and that's reared its head multiple times. However, that defense is something they can hang their hat on against any opponent in any series.
Hmm.
Um, you can't stop Durant. You can't stop Booker. They're going to do what they're going to do. Their trio can easily combine for 90 a night.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with Cat back in the lineup, he's got something to prove. He knows his playoff performances have not been great over the
Hmm.
course of his career.
Hmm.
Anthony Edwards has something to prove. Gobert, incredible. Defensive Player of the Year season
Yep.
in this series in 7 games, as we said. I've got Minnesota coming out on top.
I do as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to go Phoenix because of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. I think they have the probably 2 best players on the court.
They definitely have 2 of the top 3. I
Yep.
mean,
Like it,
that's
yeah, you could debate Ant, but for
yeah.
sure 2 of the top 3.
Mhm.
But I like you said, that Timberwolves defense, I know people were kind of worried about this matchup for the Timberwolves
Yeah.
because I don't I was kind of confused. I didn't know
Yeah,
what the reasoning was. People were just I saw people were worried, but
mhm.
I'm not one of those warriors. I trust their
No.
defense, and I think, like you said, Cat can he make an impact? Can he get that? Oh, he doesn't play well in big games. He sells in the postseason. Can he get that off of his back and
Mhm.
get a first round playoff series win?
Yeah. This series is so interesting because you have, the Anthony Edwards quote that has been going around of they have a Kevin Durant, we got Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny, but it's true in the context of what he's talking about, which is, yeah, Durant is one of the greatest scorers of all time. There's
Yep.
no stopping him. There's no like, oh, we can hold him to 13. Hell no. He's
Nah.
going for 25 plus every game. Like,
Yep.
no doubt.
Yep.
But can McDaniels muck it up? Can he make it ugly? Can he have a couple possessions where he's disrupting the flow for Durant? He gets him in a slump for a quarter. Can he do that with Booker? Like, I think this Timberwolves team has so many different ways that they can beat you.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the first being that defense. I feel like they have just enough, but this is like 51-49. Like, this
For
is a
sure.
complete toss up,
Yep.
which leads us on to a Western Conference Finals rematch. The Nuggets handled business in a sweep last year. The rivalry has been brewing. These
Yep.
teams talk a lot. AD going into this series said, I'm not ducking smoke. None of us are ducking smoke. Winning their playing game against the Pelicans. Who have you got in this series?
Um Quick note.
Yeah.
It was 5. They beat the Lakers in 5.
Oh, they did? They didn't sweep them?
Mm-mm.
Oh, snap.
Beat them in
My bad.
5.
Okay.
I was just game 1, Lakers injuries. No Christian Wood,
Mm,
no Jared Vanderbilt,
yep.
no Cam Reddish. I know he doesn't really get minutes, but little guy. This Nuggets team is destined to make it to the NBA Finals again. I'm gonna make this one pretty quick. I have the Nuggets in 5.
Nuggets in 5. Okay.
I see Lakers taking one at home, but I just have a feeling the Nuggets are closing it out in 5 on their home court.
Yeah, they got a little gentleman sweep.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm not picking against Denver in the
Mm-hmm.
first round. I have the Nuggets in 6. I
Okay.
think the Lakers put up a little bit more of a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is one I sent and I get it's basketball Instagram. I shouldn't be surprised. But when the NBA posts a poll, who's going to win in this series? And it was like 65% Lakers. Dude, I get it's like the ultimate casual fans voting primarily. But come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's a little ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I will say the Lakers do have a path though.
Mm-hmm.
This is fully possible. Similar to last season, got hot in the second half of the year, have been on fire. The Nuggets 3-0'd them this season.
Yep.
Worth noting. The X factor for me, D'Angelo Russell,
Yeah.
because we saw it in that Pelicans game. He came out on fire.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to need that. I know what LeBron can give me. I know what AD can give me. D'Lo, can you be the fifth best player in this series?
Yeah.
Because Murray, Jokic, AD, Braun, who is that fifth guy? Is it
Mm-hmm.
Michael Porter Jr.? Is it D'Lo? Is it Austin Reeves? Is it Aaron Gordon? Like, that fifth best player could swing the series.
For sure.
So for me, the guy I'm looking at is D'Lo. He's played great, and I love the intensity that he's been playing with. Like, he
Mm-hmm.
is talking, he's
Yeah.
getting into smoke. He's hitting a three, and he's pointing at fans. He's pointing at a bench. He's letting people know, like, I want this. I've
Mm-hmm.
got something to prove. I've got the Nuggets, as I've said, in 6, but there is a path. I'm not discounting the Lakers. I just think the Nuggets are arguably the most complete team in basketball, other than the team we'll talk about next.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. With that being said, on
Eastern
to
Conference.
the Eastern Conference. We know these teams pretty well. They're kind of know each other in the postseason.
Yeah.
The Heat and Celtics got a little bit of history there.
Yeah.
No Jimmy, no Terry. This is a banged up Heat team.
Unfortunately so.
It sucks. Obviously, if you've followed the channel or if you could see Moses's t-shirt, we are both Celtics fans.
Yep.
Full transparency, I have wanted the Heat very bad.
For a
I feel
while.
like this is a revenge tour, and I'm genuinely saying this, one, because injuries suck. Period. Any series, any player, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I wish more than anything that Jimmy was 100%, that Terry was 100%, so we could see these teams go at it in the way that basketball fans deserve.
Yeah.
That being said, I've got the Celtics winning this pretty handily. I'm giving the Heat a game. I could see it going to 6. I'm not counting that out. I just feel like with the way they're banged up, it it sucks for Miami. Like, their path forward is reliant on the random role player coming out, Haywood Highsmith, having a dominant Caleb Martin like series or something like that.
Yeah.
And the Celtics have so many guys they can rely on that I feel pretty confident in the C's.
Yeah, I'm going to the closet and get my broom out because I have them in 4.
Wow.
I just think they're coming out on a mission, no messing around. They knocked us out last year when we had a real shot at winning the finals.
Yeah.
We've been one of the greatest teams in the NBA all season long. We don't like them. They don't
No.
like us. Let's just get it out of the way. No funny business.
Mm-hmm.
Quick rest up for the second round.
Yeah. And I think, we talk about it all the time. We talked about it in our March Madness videos. We talk about it in all our videos. A big point that is brought up. The Heat are playing with house money. They have
Yeah.
nothing to lose in this series.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing the best regular season team. You're an 8 seed again. Your best player is out. Terry Rozier, who you made a trade for to help improve that scoring, which has been shaky in the
Mm-hmm.
regular season, is out.
Yep.
They have nothing to lose. If they get swept, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
as a Celtics fan, I won't be laughing at Heat, fans or anything like that. Like, yeah, you weren't given a real shake. Worth noting, the Celtics 3-0 regular season series, and the Heat are 13-9 this season without Jimmy Butler in the lineup.
Yeah.
This is different, though. The Celtics have been on coast mode the last month, haven't cared for the regular season. And I think that ultimately helps some of their deeper rotational players.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think everyone's gonna come out on a mission, ready to go,
Yeah.
knowing their role, knowing what they can bring to the
Hmm.
table, and yeah, I just think guns blazing.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Um, on to the next series. Game one did happen. This is the only one we, upon recording, know the outcome to.
Yep.
The Cavs won game one, so they go up 1-0 in the series, taking on the Orlando Magic, the young team trying to continue on a very successful season for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who have you got in this series?
These two teams split their season series to a piece. Like you said, Cavs are up 1-0 in the series, looking to bounce back after an embarrassing first round exit last year to the New York Knicks. They just got exposed. Donovan Mitchell, after having a great regular season, was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And the whole team just kind of collapsed around him. The Magic looking to make it out of the first round for the first time since 2010. The youth,
Wow.
yeah, dude, they're it's been a while. I
Wow.
loved great season by them,
Mm-hmm.
but especially with the Cavs taking the first game and doing so pretty handedly, the Magic made it close there at the end, but Cleveland was in the driver's seat for a majority of the game. I think they're trying to exercise that demon of last year and are going to make it out of the first round. I have the Cavs in 5 games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Magic,
Wow.
I had great season, but I think the defense of the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell, I see him locking in, getting this one over with pretty soon.
So this is our first big difference,
Ooh,
which I like.
okay.
I like. So these are two teams playing with two totally different mentalities.
Yep.
You have the Cavs. This is make or break. If this team doesn't go, and I'm saying minimum Eastern Conference Finals is what I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, Allen, that core split. I
Yep.
think Mitchell is gone. If not, Garland is gone. One of those two, I will bet 99.99% is gone when we look at the roster to start next season. If
Mm-hmm.
they do not go on a deep run, and even if they do, they still might shake things up.
Yep.
As for the Magic, they're playing with nothing to lose. They're a young team. They've come out of the woodwork. Paulo, I'm being honest, has not gotten the love that he deserves being an all-star in his second year,
Yeah.
helping to lead this team to where they're at. Maybe it's because I'm a believer in the basketball gods. I've got Orlando in 7 games,
Wow.
defeating the Cavs and putting a rest to this Cavaliers era, I guess,
Of
if you could call it that.
yeah.
I'm not even trying to be an ass. I just I like there's nothing out of it. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I I wanted to be swayed after a 1-0 win by the Cavs. I'm refusing to do so. Could the Cavs win this series? And would I probably bet on them to? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Something about the Cavs ducking smoke and wanting Orlando. We talked about it not in a video, but just if I'm Orlando, all I have to say is they wanted you because they
Yeah.
thought you weren't good enough to beat them.
Yep.
They thought you guys were too young. You didn't have the star talent. You didn't have the power. You didn't have the experience, didn't have the guts, whatever it is. They wanted you.
Mm-hmm.
That should piss you off.
100%. In that video, I was saying
Yeah.
I think something's gonna happen from the basketball gods, but then saw the matchup and
Yes.
was like, oh, never mind. But I I'm not mad at your pick, dude,
No.
because if I'm Orlando, I'm hot. Like
I'm
you guys
mad.
want to disrespect us? Like
Yeah.
we're all pros, dude. We made it to the NBA playoffs. Like we're not just a
Absolutely.
bug on the bottom of your shoe, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if the Magic go out in round, this is the difference too. If the Magic go out in round 1, that's totally fine.
Yeah. They're good.
Like this was real progress this year.
Yeah.
Like not just a step in the right direction. This is something you can say, hey, we were as high as the 2 seed in the East during the end part of the season, during April.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Mm-hmm.
Like regardless of injuries, anything going on in the East, that's awesome. But at the same time, I could totally see Orlando or the Cavs and make sure, taking care of business here.
Yeah.
On to the bottom series. Oh man. This has been a trendy upset pick.
Yeah. And I wanted to talk on that because
Okay.
I had a pick for a lower seed. I was gonna talk about it actually in our next matchup because I
Okay.
was like, a lot of people are gonna want to pick the Sixers as the upset. I'm not trying to call it an upset. It's not like the college seeding where the 1 seed is undefeated, best team in college basketball, a bunch of 5 stars, and then it's a little lower division 1
Yeah.
school with not as much fun. They're all professionals, they're all NBA players. So but that I just
Yeah.
wanted to have a little rant on that. But
No, I agree with you.
yeah.
And especially in the West, where
Yeah.
like a lot of these teams are separated by like 1 or 2 games.
Yep.
The seeding, I forget what head coach it was, but they recently were like, we don't even care.
Yeah.
It means nothing because
Mhm.
like we're 1 game apart.
We're gonna have to go on the road at some point anyway.
Yeah.
We're gonna be at home at some point anyway.
Exactly.
Just win
Like
basketball games. Yeah.
that's all you have to do.
Mhm.
As easy as
As
that
easy
is,
as this sounds. Yep.
just win some playoff games.
Yep.
But Milwaukee taking on Indiana,
Yeah.
Giannis, it
Dude.
seems like is a lock to miss at least game 1, and then
Mhm.
we'll see from
Yeah.
there. 4-1 season series in favor of Indiana.
Crazy.
Worth noting, in the 9 games the Bucks played this year without Giannis, they are 4-5. Obviously,
Yep.
right? You're missing your best player, so that does make
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm.
This is the time where that Dame trade has to come through.
Yep.
Has to.
Thank you for talking about it.
Yeah.
Has to cash now.
Has to.
We need a Trailblazers Dame
Yes.
performance in game 1 to keep the Bucks afloat. Because if not, it might be wraps.
It could be back-to-back years going out in the first. And
3 coaches in a year.
And Mo and I talked about it yesterday, and we said the cool thing about having this YouTube channel, and the longer we have it, the more we can have takes that are right or wrong. Right?
Yep.
It's cool to also look back and be like, wow, I whiffed hard.
Yes,
I was totally wrong.
but
hey,
we got time.
plenty
We
of
got time. We got time.
Yeah, plenty of upside. But we said when they fired Bud,
What are you
I
doing?
don't love it.
Yeah.
Don't love it. That doesn't feel like the right move.
Mhm.
And from what we saw, them firing Adrian Griffin, hiring Doc Rivers, that validates what we feel, unless Doc wins a title with this team, which
Yeah.
who knows? It's possible. The big thing, as we were talking about, Dame, you have to be the best player in this series.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Mhm.
There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. They need you. They traded for you. This is why they traded for you, was to bring another superstar type player to pair with Giannis.
Yep.
He's banged up. He'll come back in this series. I don't really, see any reason, at least from the signs we've seen, that he wouldn't do that.
Mhm.
But even when he's back, he's not going to be 100%. Dame, this is on you.
Dame time for real.
It has to be, because if Halliburton gets back into that vintage form that we saw this season, they have Pascal Siakam. This is a deep Pacers team.
Yeah.
that we talked about in this previous offseason about like they could be legit because
Mm-hmm.
they've got a lot of players. The trade for Siakam helps.
Huge.
Ultimately, as tempting as this was, I've got Milwaukee advancing though in 6.
I
Oh snap.
The Pacers are looking to make it out of the first round for the first time since 2014.
Yeah, that was PG, right? I think because that had to have been like the Danny Granger, PG, George Hill
Yep,
nucleus.
because they
Okay,
lost to the Heat in the conference
yeah,
finals.
yeah, that Heat team was pretty good.
They were all right, yeah.
They were pretty decent. Damn.
um, I have the Pacers in 7.
Oh my goodness.
I, I, I think, dude, people. I'm starting to realize
Wow.
like my picks are looking haterish based on my fandom, based on my. But dude, I'm telling you, I just have these feelings. I'm just telling you guys what I feel. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna cap. I'm not gonna just what I feel. I feel Halliburton coming out, showing coming back to form. He kind of had a slow second half of the year. I think he turns it back on. Siakam has had some success against the Bucks in the postseason. I
Hmm.
mean, he had a Kawhi leading Raptors squad that
Yeah.
beat up in the conference finals to go to the finals, but he's part of that team. He's seen the success against them. He probably has a little bit of the formula. I'm gonna ride it out, dude. I got the Pacers.
I I I can't really be too mad. I think if Giannis was 100%,
Yeah, that's my huge asterisk. Huge.
yeah,
If Giannis was 100%, I'd probably have the Bucks in 6, Bucks
yeah,
in 5. But it's just I don't, especially with how Dame's played this year. I'm not trusting it. I know he's one of the best players in the
yeah.
game.
I love
I
Dame.
haven't seen it.
Yeah,
And I don't know, man. I know he's Dame time when the lights get the brightest. He's the guy you want taking those shots, but I don't know.
and similarly to the Cavs Magic matchup, all of the pressure is on Milwaukee. All of it.
100%. 100%.
If Indiana gets swept, it would be, oh, that kind of sucks. They had a good year, but they'll be back.
Yeah.
Halliburton's young. They will see with Siakam in free agency, but your superstar is in place, which is the hardest thing to navigate. With the Bucks, you go out in the first round. Oh man, after a Dame trade, the noise is going to get loud around. Is Giannis leaving? Is
Yeah.
Dame leaving after 1 year? Like Stephen A. Smith, take it for what you will, but was talking about like he's not happy.
Mhm.
He's not happy, and if they don't execute, it could be a one and done. He could be moved at the deadline next year. Like all of those wounds get reopened, and
Yeah.
Indiana doesn't have that. They're playing free.
100%.
Um, yeah, 6 games. I've got Milwaukee, but I can't be too mad at your Indiana pick, man.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be a fun series.
Which leads us to the final first round matchup. Joel Embiid is back. He's healthy-ish,
Mhm.
healthy enough to play.
Yep.
Um, so he's got that going against the Knicks. Hell of a season
Man.
with, to me, the best point guard in the Eastern Conference in Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
7-game series, divisional rivals. This was a 3-1 series in favor of New York.
Mhm.
Who have you got in this 7-game series?
I have the New York Knicks in 6.
Wow.
Something about Embiid. I know he came back in the regular season for those last few games and played well, but Zay opened my eyes to a key part of him playing well. He played against teams who
Yeah.
aren't the best this year, I
No.
believe.
It
The
was
only
like,
one that I remember who is one of the this is a solid team, but against Joel, they have no answer, was the Magic. He played the
yeah.
Magic. I believe they played the Pistons. Um, and then one more lower end
Yeah.
team this year. So no doubt he played well in those few games. And then in the play-in, he turned it around when it mattered. He
Yeah.
hit some big shots down the stretch,
Hmm.
but he was looking awful
Yeah.
for a majority of the game against the Heat.
He didn't
Um,
look right.
yeah, he just didn't look right. Even the broadcasters, Doris was talking about it. He just looks tired. He looked tired in warm ups. Like,
Hmm.
so I'm worried about the conditioning. I'm worried about all that. And I know he's had a few days to get ramped up, get rested, whatever he needs to do. But I I still I just don't believe it was the correct move by the 76ers to bring him back,
Yeah.
because even if he is 100%, it's going to be a tough walk to a successful season in whatever capacity they think that is. I lean with the Knicks. I know no Randall sucks, but they've worked their way around it. Brunson has
They
been
have.
cooking, added at the trade deadline, and those pieces are going to be key.
Hmm.
Bogdanovich needs some 20-point performances this
Yeah.
series. But I have the Knicks defending their home court, winning in 6.
Yeah. Crazy stats, two of which, one for
Okay.
both team.
Okay.
The Sixers with Embiid in the lineup this year are 31-8. Oh, the Knicks with OG Anunoby in the lineup are 20-3. Two very impressive stats
Bro,
for two
what?
key players on both sides.
Yeah.
Um, this is one too where no Randall hurts for a multitude of reasons. He's an all-star. So leave it at that. He's a big man who could bang with Embiid. Um, the Knicks not having him hurts. The big question mark for me and the path the Sixers have to win this series, can the Knicks big men do enough to slow Embiid down?
Yeah.
Because Isaiah Hartenstein honestly deserves to be in most improved player talks.
Yeah.
He blossomed this year. He was
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Um, Precious is gonna have to come up big. They've got bigs who can get physical,
Mitchell
can get
Robinson. Yeah.
Mitchell.
Like,
Yeah, like they have big men who can get physical, can get in his face. OG Anunoby, not a big, but a wing who
length.
is more than capable. Yeah, Josh Hart, one of the best rebounders in basketball,
Mm-hmm.
physical defender. Like they have all of these guys, and to play on Tibbs' team, you got to play defense and you got to play
Yeah.
it well.
Yep.
And this Knicks team does that very well.
Mm-hmm.
I've got New York in 6.
Wow.
I will
It
be
rhymed.
joining you.
It,
It
it,
it like
because I
Knicks
had
in
him in
6.
7. I had him in 7, and then I was
Yeah,
like, nah, man, Knicks in 6. I was like, why not?
yeah. And this again, I already talked about it, so I'm not going to bring the full point up again. But you're kind of setting Embiid up for failure by playing
100%
like there's
stupid.
if he there's a risk he gets hurt. There's a risk he plays this series and doesn't look himself, and everyone grills him for it and goes, "Oh, here he goes in the playoffs again. Another terrible performance." Da 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 da.
Yep.
And there's just no upside other than
None.
him. He's not in game shape. That is a fact. Like
Yeah.
that isn't a subjective opinion. He does not look like himself.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So this is big for Maxi. I'm very excited to see Maxi and Brunson go at it, but yeah, I've the way the Knicks are playing, they deserve more respect than they're being given. A lot of people are picking the Sixers.
Yeah. This is the upset pick I wanted to
Yeah,
talk about, but I I don't agree.
yeah. Um, that ends the first round, which leads us now to the second. We'll start off in the West again. We both have the Thunder taking on the Dallas Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my dude, this series, every series, especially in the West, but
Yeah.
this is real hoops.
Yeah.
Real hoops. In the 4 games they played, the Thunder won 3
Yep.
of those matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Who have you got in this incredible series?
I still have Luca fever. I think not winning MVP, the struggles of the postseason of the past, it's gonna be ringing in his ears. And I think the youth and the experience of the Thunder finally hits a wall.
Wow.
Each round, the intensity amplifies because you're that much closer to an NBA championship. I get I know you said he might average 40 in the Clippers series. I see him damn near averaging 40 in the playoffs.
Can't blame you.
I've Luca and the Mavericks knocking off the Thunder in 7 games.
You know, Mo and I, we say it every video, don't tell each other our picks
Nope.
because we like going into it authentically.
Yeah.
I'd been texting Mo like, man, there's this one pick that I don't think people are gonna like, but you do, and I am joining you
No way.
in a 7-game series. I've got the Mavs in 7
I was
going to the
waiting
Western
for your
Conference
pick.
Finals.
I was waiting for your pick, and I was like,
Yeah,
I was like, when is this gonna come? I didn't know if it was.
this this is the one, and
Wow. And we've been on the Thunder all year. I've
we
been
have
SGA's biggest fan.
it.
It it hurts, but
You've been a defender for I mean a long time, but especially this season, like this
yeah,
offseason, your MVP pick was Shea.
yeah.
Like you've in the Thunder, like I've said, my second favorite team behind Boston. I love this team,
Mm-hmm.
but the way Luca and Kyrie are playing, in my notes, the number one note I had, who will be the best player in this series?
Yeah,
Is it Shea? Is it Luca? Is it Kyrie?
could be Kyrie.
Does J Dub just shock everyone? Because we know what he can do, but being the best player in the series in with Luca and Shea and Kyrie would be like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, he's
We,
yeah.
this is very, very impressive.
Yep.
That's my number one note. Is it Shea? Is it Luca? Because that could be the difference maker.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the best player? Quick stat: the Mavs are 35-16 this year when both Luca and Kyrie are playing. Kyrie was a little banged up this year, so
Yep.
just I wanted to filter it by okay, he's healthy. What's their record with those two?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty damn solid.
Yep.
I love this Thunder squad, but this just feels like a Mavs Western Conference Finals year.
Yeah, dude, I feel it. They and it wasn't it's crazy because we were so worried about this team. What are they gonna
Super.
do defensively? How are they gonna work in with their bigs? Like how's this team gonna look? And they made some moves that seemed minor at the time. PJ, Gafford, like
Mm-hmm.
just like roll bottom end role guys, most fans would say, I feel like, but they've
Yeah,
blossomed. Like they've played
they were
really
great.
well with the Mavs. And
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's all clicking and coming together at the right time.
Yeah, they mortgaged their future draft capital, things like that, to
Hmm.
bring in PJ and Gafford and go from players on the Hornets and Wizards who are playing meaningless basketball to, hey, when the playoffs roll around, because that's when it really matters, we're gonna need you to step up. And I had them as winners at the trade deadline
Yeah.
because this is the first time really since like Tyson Chandler, Dirk, like where they
Jason
had,
Kidd.
yeah, like a very solid core of big men that
Yeah.
they could rotate through.
Mhm.
Um, and that I don't want to say was their kryptonite or like major weakness, but it damn helps
For sure,
having
and
that.
for those players, thank you for bringing that up. Imagine that energy, adrenaline, confidence boost. Like,
Yeah,
they saw me on this team who wasn't doing anything,
yeah,
brought me in, and they knew they saw a vision. They had a vision that I could help this team be meaningful, and yeah, those guys, they're probably amped to
yeah,
be in that position. So
yeah. And for the Thunder, nothing to hang your head on, nothing to be
absolutely
upset
not.
about. You
Absolutely
will
not.
be back next year. And this just feels to me like, okay, it's not this year. This time next year, though, it might not just be them getting to the Western Conference Finals. It might be even more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
league be ready
Mhm.
is all I'll leave it at. But a
Yep.
great year for the Thunder, more than capable of winning this series. But I I'm joining you. I think Luke has got a little something to prove.
Yeah.
And we both have Timberwolves Nuggets, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, perfect. Again, dude, just
This
every matchup so
and
good.
we've talked about it. I believe on camera, but for sure in off camera together.
Yeah,
The Timberwolves are one of the better equipped teams for Jokic, for the
without a
Nuggets,
doubt.
because of the bigs, because of the rotation, because of what they can do on defense. So it's not as easy as it might seem to
No.
some. I see this being a back and forth junkyard dog fight. Just
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And some people forget these two teams faced last year, and even with Cat's struggles,
Mhm.
you could argue they played them the best of anyone in last year's playoffs.
Yeah.
Like they
Gave them the
handled
most trouble.
certainly. So it's
Mhm.
like Ant is only better. Cat has that chip on his shoulder even more.
Yep.
Gobert, another defensive player of the year. You, as you said, they're equipped to make it ugly.
Yeah.
Like you can't stop Jokic. I will say that for any superstar player. You can't stop Luca. You can't stop Durant. You can't stop any of those top guys. Shea. That doesn't happen. But can you slow him down? Can you
Mhm.
make it harder?
Yep.
Gobert is going to be able to do that.
For sure.
Like Cat is capable of doing that. Nas Reed can do that. Jaden McDaniels, while he's not as tall or as beefy as Jokic, one of the premier defenders in basketball. Like
Length, length, length. Block
that's
those
what,
passing lanes that Jokic is looking for after he takes a dribble. Like,
without a doubt,
yeah.
it's the best defense in the entire NBA this year has been in Minnesota,
Mhm.
and they are more than capable of making it ugly for Denver.
For sure.
Um, but ultimately, I just can't bet against the Nuggets going out now.
I agree, man. It's just it's gonna be back and forth, but
It is.
I have the Nuggets
Yeah,
winning in 6 games.
I do too.
Yeah.
I've got that same thing.
We're locked
T-
in the West, bro.
We are we've got the same Western Conference, but our East is different. It's
Yeah.
we have two different teams.
Yep.
So we'll start this off with you.
Okay.
Let's get you started here. It doesn't really matter. We'll have Cavs, Celtics. Do the Cavs go on? Do they keep this team intact? Do they show people, hey, we can take down in a David versus Goliath way
Yeah.
the Boston Celtics, or is this it?
The Celtics won the season series 2-1.
Hmm.
The Cavs won the most recent game on March 3rd by a point. They've played this team well all year.
Yeah,
Um, so it's definitely not a walk in the park for the Celtics, but coming off the sweep, coming off the rest with hints of the finals, a couple feet away, a couple games away. I have the Celtics beating
Yeah.
the Cavs in 5 games.
Yeah. If I had that matchup, I would have said the exact same thing.
Yep.
Like I just feel like that's it. For me, I've got Orlando. Um, this was a 2-1 season series for win for Boston, but
Yep.
we talk about it all the time. One of the team's hardest matchups is Orlando every year.
Uh-huh.
Like even when they're bad or rebuilding, whatever it is, they always give the Celtics problems.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's like this Orlando team is good. So that one makes a little more sense. But in years past, it's been a struggle. But they just don't. They're too young. I have them beating the Cavs in 7.
Yep.
So marginal there. But I've got the Boston Celtics in 5. I think this path for Boston to the conference finals at minimum, very light.
It has yeah, it's a cakewalk
Like
for
to the
and
conference finals. It's
and no
it
disrespect to those other teams,
at
it's
all.
just the talent of the Celtics and the rotations of the
Yeah.
Celtics and the different lineups they can throw at you and the
Mhm.
fact that they've been on cruise control, like, it has to
Yeah.
all come together.
And it would feel the way the Celtics have had as a luxury being 14 games over the Knicks, who were second, having that confidence click for a Sam Hauser, for a Peyton Pritchard of like PP dominated to end the
Yeah,
year. He's
yeah,
going into these playoffs feeling like, okay, when my name's called upon, I'm ready.
yeah,
And that is a luxury that these other teams haven't had. Like
mhm,
they've been fighting tooth and nail to get the best playoff seeding to be, whatever it is. Um, I've just got the Celtics taking care of business.
for sure.
Yeah. Um, On to the bottom. You have we'll kick it off with you again. The Pacers pulling off a massive upset
Yep,
over Milwaukee,
mhm,
going on to face the Knicks, who would have just won a tough one against Maxey and Embiid.
mhm.
Who have you got to match up against Boston in the conference finals?
Both teams coming into this with some energy of some great series wins. Pacers won the season series 2-1. Um, Knicks, the only game they won, it was a close one. They won by 4. This is where I have the Pacers knocking the Knicks off
Oh my goodness, Mo.
in 6 and
Okay.
rolling to the conference finals. Hallie, Siakam, Miles, Bathren, screw it, Nemhard, clutch game.
TJ McConnell, one of the most underrated players in basketball.
Give me the Pacers, man.
Wow. First off, wow. I'm very, very surprised by this.
Yeah,
Un-
I I am too.
yeah, it's okay. So unrelated, it was so funny. Miles Turner, I had done an article about it. He was doing a press conference talking about TJ McConnell after he had a really good regular season game against the Heat.
Mhm.
And he said, straight faced, hey, when McConnell sees a white guy guarding him, he takes it personally. It makes him mad. That is
That's it.
so funny. I just wanted to throw that out
I
there.
love it. I
Of
love it.
he's like, man, when he sees a white guy guarding him, he gets pissed off because he's like, I no,
What we
throw someone, throw someone at me.
It's the Russ thing.
Yeah, no, so he's like, him? Okay. I mean, if you want.
Yeah.
Um, but wow, I'm very surprised by your pick here.
Yeah, dude, I I said it versus the Bucks, beating them in 7. I have this feeling Pacers, I mean, made it to the right? Made it to the in-season tournament final
Yeah.
versus the Lakers. I know that
Mhm.
doesn't really matter. It was a long time ago, but why not? Why not roll to the
Wow.
Eastern Conference Finals, man?
Okay. Okay. Um, as for me, I have Bucks, which is where we're very different. We're just
In the East, yeah.
we're the East, the bottom East is just totally different for us.
Locked up West, East
Yeah,
is which is yeah.
as it goes, I've
Mm-hmm.
got Knicks, Bucks. Hopefully, at this point, Giannis is healthy. He's ready to roll. He's good. He's going to play in all these games. 3-2 season series in favor of Milwaukee. The Knicks are 21-15 without Randall. This could have applied to their last matchup, but just something, a note I wanted to throw out there. But the important one, Jalen Brunson this year is averaging 37.2 points per game against the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 games. He loves playing Milwaukee for some
Yeah.
reason. And
Yeah.
maybe it's because they're an equal. They're a very tough team. This is a very good team, and he feeds off of that.
Mm-hmm.
I have commended New York all year. I have talked about how strong that defense is, how solid this team is, how deep this team is, how much I loved their trade deadline, getting Burks and Bogey and really building a team. If you'd have told me that, James Dolan would be getting cheers and appreciation managing this Knicks team, even 2 years ago, last year, I would have
Mm-hmm.
told you you're crazy. But
Yep.
here we are. This is a very competent team, and I'm trusting New York to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals in a tough
Wow.
and gritty 7-game series.
Wow, bro. Even when you let it off with Giannis should be healthy, I was like, oh, okay, he's going with the Bucks.
And dude, like again, this previous offseason, I was so terrified of Milwaukee, and I'm not going to count them out ever. You got Giannis, Dame, Middleton, Lopez, Bobby, but it's not right. This team is not right,
Yeah.
and it hasn't looked right. They can't defend, period. They can't. And if you are going to win a title, if you're going to go deep in the playoffs, you have to have that to hang your head on. New York has that. I think it's going to be a fun one. Brunson is going to try his damn hardest to be the best player in this series.
Yep.
Um, that's what I got. Knicks,
Love.
Celtics in
Mm.
the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Spike Lee is celebrating his Knicks making it this far. And that's what we got. And now we go with the same matchup in the West, which is very surprising to me.
For
But
sure.
it's what we got. We got Mavericks, Nuggets, Luka versus Jokic. My goodness.
Peak Euroball.
Euro ball for the win, baby.
Yep.
Um, the series was 2-1 Nuggets. Who have you got in this incredible series to go to the finals?
Mavericks won the last game, March 17th, by 2. I believe Luka and Kyrie, they've come this far. They're gonna be cooking still, knowing they're 4 games away from a NBA Finals appearance.
Yeah.
What a massive turnaround for the Mavericks after not even making the playoffs last year in
Yeah.
a tragic end of the season after trading for Kyrie and trying to make it all happen. That was last year, not 2 years ago,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Last year's deadline.
Yep. I unfortunately have Jokic and the Nuggets and Jamal and MPJ and Christian Braun. Why not let it fly?
Okay, Chris.
knocking off the Mavericks in 6 games.
Yeah. Um, I think my big one in this series, can the Mavs bigs do anything to disrupt Jokic?
Nada.
Like the Timberwolves are the most equipped, maybe in the West, to do so.
Mhm.
And Jokic is still going to do what he's going to do. I think, worth noting who will be the 5th best player in the series.
Mhm.
Got 2 superstars on both sides. Jamal Murray in the playoffs is a different. Wait, you want to talk about playoff Jimmy, and he has deserved that. Playoff Jamal is also not to be
Legit.
trifled with. Yeah.
Legit.
Starting to go down as like one of the greatest non all-star players ever.
Yeah.
Like he's incredible.
Mhm.
Um, to your point, I'm really glad you brought the Kyrie thing up because this is something fans in sports in general are so quick to be like, oh, it didn't work.
Mhm.
Oh, this player's bad. This player can't develop. He's a bust. This duo won't work. Dude, they played less than half of a season and they were banged up and the roster wasn't what it is this year. And Kyrie was coming off of being traded and all that stuff. Now they had a full offseason to work, a full regular season under their belt. And the Mavs are now here, for us at least, in the conference
Mhm.
finals.
Yep.
But I'm joining you. I've got Denver in 6. This team is it. They're just them, man. Like
Too good.
they're too good. Waltzing in to another NBA Finals,
Yeah.
looking to go
Insane.
back to back.
Insane.
Um, and now down here in the East, very very different
Yep.
for us. I've got Celtics Knicks. You have Celtics Pacers. Um, this season series was 4-1 in favor of Boston. And are you good? Okay, okay. Boston was 4-1 in the season series. And I think the big player, the big X factor, the big question mark is what can OG Anunoby do? Because we saw it a couple years ago in the bubble with the Raptors. He was cooking against Tatum and against JB,
Yeah.
like making a mess all the time. Like he was just a dominant force on that side of the basketball,
Mhm.
and that hasn't gone anywhere. So he is more than capable of slowing Tatum down, of slowing JB down, of making things difficult for him. But I think this is where no Randall makes things really difficult. You need all the star talent you can against Boston.
Yep.
And I've got the Celtics taking care of business, winning the series in 6 games.
Fair, fair. Sorry for the little interruption. Unplugged my mic there. But
Oh, yeah.
we're back and we're ready to roll.
Ready to roll. I got your Pacers Celtics series teed up.
And the Celtics won the season series 3-2. But it was interesting. Celtics game 1, Pacers game 2, Celtics game 3, Pacers game 4,
Mhm.
Celtics game 5. Now, Eastern Conference Finals. In my scenario, I see it being a tight one, see it going back and forth. But as you said, gonna need all the star talent you can have against the Celtics. I just think if we throw actually, never mind. I was gonna say if we throw a big lineup out there against the Pacers, they might struggle. But they got Miles, they got Siakam, they got
Yeah.
some length.
Mhm.
So I feel like this would be a very competitive series. But I'm joining you. Call us homers. I
No
have the
Simpson.
Celtics in 6 games as well.
Well,
But
for
the
all
back
the
and forth was in the regular
yeah,
season a little interesting. A little interesting.
and they knocked the Celtics out in the in-season tournament too. Again,
Yep.
not to put too much weight onto that, but it's
Yep.
true. It's an important thing to note.
Mm-hmm.
This is very big for Halliburton. This goes all the way back to their first round matchup. He has got to play the way he did a couple months ago,
For sure.
because we were championing him as like the best point guard in the East,
Mm-hmm.
and was like, hey, Brunson is behind him, but I feel pretty good about Hallie. Struggled closing out this season.
That
And if the Pacers want to do anything in this playoffs, they need him to be back on track.
for sure.
With that being said, the finals matchup is here. It's kind of what this is the popular one.
Yep.
It's going to be the most popular matchup, I would assume, among fans.
Mm-hmm.
Nuggets, Celtics. This was a 2-0 series win this year for Denver. And now we've got 7 games of incredible basketball in the finals. Will your will you rock with your hometown team in Boston, or do you've got the Nuggets going back to back?
The 2-0 in the regular season, it hurts. It's tough. We played on March 7th. They won by 6. Played January 19th. They won by 2. So they had our number in the regular season. The Nuggets chasing that back-to-back title. The Celtics chasing their first title in a while.
Mm-hmm.
After tries, numerous attempts, numerous close calls, I think that they finally get over the hump. The addition of Porzingis cashes in the ultimate fashion. Not saying he clamps Jokic or anything, but
No.
he keeps up with him, keeps him level, works with the defensive scheme. We use our length to slow the Nuggets down as much as we can, and we pull the series out with the home court in 7 games.
Yeah, I think speaking to your Porzingis point, it was worth noting in the regular season that he had some moments where he could disrupt Jokic, but his size for Jokic and weight compared to Porzingis was a problem.
Yeah.
Like, it's difficult for anyone. I think the bigger question is like, what can Al Horford do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, people call him the Embiid stopper or the Giannis stopper, whatever it is.
Yep.
But he's going to have to be a key factor. He's been able to rest a lot through the regular season, but in these playoffs is when the Celtics will need him most to lead that bench unit and be a contributor.
Yep.
Worth noting, the Nuggets are top 10 in all of basketball and offensive rating, defensive rating, net rating, and 3-point percentage. The Celtics are top 3 in all of those categories, which is ridiculous.
That's
What,
insane.
especially on the offensive side of the ball for the Celtics this year, it is up there all time as one of the greatest offensive rated teams ever. So, worth noting, the one concern and the biggest concern that I have for the Celtics, very, very reliant on the 3-point shot. Not very good at getting to the cup, not very good at scoring at the rim. Will that be their undoing? You know, all it takes with a team as good as Denver is one of those mistakes in a game and you end up losing it, and that's the difference maker between you winning or losing a series.
Yeah.
But it just feels like, and you feel it in sports, when a team is due to break through. I feel like the Celtics are due for a breakthrough. They beat the Nuggets in 7 games to win a title. It's going to sound real homery, but that's what I got. I'm joining you.
It has to be time. It has to be this year.
Yeah, has to be. Because if not, ugh. And this Denver team is so good. So good. And if you have the Nuggets winning it all, I'm not mad. Like,
Yeah,
this team is incredible. Um, but the Celtics have been knocking at the door for so long.
it's got to cash.
Eventually, it has to. They have a nice first and second round. We'll see who they get in the third. Is it the Sixers? Is it the Pacers? Knicks? Who is it? The Milwaukee. But they've got a pretty nice path. So
Yep,
coming out of the West, though, those are some real problems.
for sure. It's
Yeah.
it's going to be a struggle to get through for any team who comes out of the West.
Yeah. I mean, their path is just so much harder.
Mm-hmm.
Like Denver, you go against the Lakers, who want to beat you so bad. You go
Mm-hmm.
against either the Timberwolves or Suns. Timberwolves have probably the best, big men weapons to counter Jokic.
Yep.
And the Suns, we know what they are. We don't have to go into that. And then the West, it's just loaded. Like, their path is so much harder than the Celtics. So
Yeah, dude. We'll
we'll
see.
see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Should be some amazing series, but both of us have got Boston coming out on top this year.
Yes, we do. Are we trying to show final brackets
Yeah,
real
go
quick?
ahead. If you want to pull yours up.
Throwing mine up on screen right now. Here's my official bracket, starting it off up top. Scrolling through. Celtics all the way. Nuggets. I like that. I like how it matches up. A little from the top down below.
Yeah.
That's what I got, man.
And I am not signed into my NBA ID, so I'll spare everyone having it pulled up.
Yep.
The only big differences here, I've got the Knicks going to the conference finals. I've got Milwaukee beating Indiana, Cavs Magic, whatever. Honestly, so real quick with that series, I'm really excited for that series. Hopefully this doesn't bite me in the ass when I say it, but I feel like it has the least amount of consequences.
Yeah.
Because I feel like regardless, the Celtics get them. And this isn't me being a homer. This is just
Analytical.
objectively.
Yep.
Yeah, like is it possible? Yes. But beating the Celtics 4 times, nah,
I don't know,
like
man.
I don't love it. So
Yeah.
that's what we got. Let us know your finals picks. Let us know your, upset teams. Are you more bullish on the Thunder than us? Let us know in the comments. We would love to see what you got.
Yes, yes.
And now we know it's the best part of the pod. Song of the pod time. Mo, what do you got?
I'm getting scared that you've done this one before. But
I'll lie and say I didn't anyways.
I
Okay, cool.
found this song yesterday. Shout out to the Apple Music random shuffle after my queued songs had played.
Yeah.
The Concrete Boys, Mo Jams.
I didn't.
You haven't done this,
I
dude.
haven't.
I heard Yachty because again, I found this on Apple Music and it was under, I think, Extort was the name
Yeah.
on Apple.
Yeah.
I was like, who is this? And then first minute I was vibing. I was like, this is good. I was doing something. I wasn't really listening to the music. Then I
Yeah.
heard Yachty.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like what song is this? Why is his name not on this?
Mm-hmm.
Great vibes, summer. I'm just a little jammer, just a little chill. I love it. Love the song. If you haven't listened, go check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yachty is a part of that collective, the Concrete Boys collective. He's a part of it. It's kind of like he used to have, oh man, what was the name of that group? It was like the boat team, the boat. He has multiple songs.
Yacht Club.
Yes,
Oh, no.
Yacht Club.
Was that actually what? I don't know.
It might be. It's one of those.
Yeah.
Whoever knows.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's a great pick.
Thank you.
For me, I've got Kenny Mason, Money Signs. The song is awesome. Kenny Mason is really dope. If you're looking for a nice little gym song or a song to hype you up during the spring, during the summer, This is what you got. I'm
Yep.
feeling hyped going into this postseason.
Yeah,
I,
man.
I can't wait to see how it plays out.
Love it, bro. The game's
Love
going
it.
on, like we said, as we're
Yep.
recording. Check
Yep.
those out. We'll get this
Mm-hmm.
vid up ASAP for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And let us know what you got in the comments.
Let us know. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Speaking of playoffs, probably should have done this at the start. Mo did an awesome NHL predictions vid. So if you want a little hockey content,
Mm-hmm.
some hockey picks, we've got that too.
Yep.
Mo did a great job with that. So check it out if you want some more playoff content.
For sure. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for tuning in. We can't wait for some playoffs, and we cannot wait to see y'all in the next video.
See you later, everyone. Have a good one.
Peace.